Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy here, Manny, once again. Welcome to DFS Zone, your source for daily fantasy sport lineups for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. And of course, like always, guys, I would appreciate a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, it's your first time here, please subscribe down below. And do not forget to turn on your notifications. This way you will not miss any of my daily uploads. With that being said, today is Monday, April the 9th, 2018. We have a 9-game slate, large slate. We're down to the last couple of days of the NBA season here, folks. And man, a lot of big important games for certain teams tonight. As we wind down the season, some teams obviously are battling for position, and some teams are still hoping to stay alive here and get into postseason. Right now, currently, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to give you a stud 5. There's enough guys here to give you a stud 5 today. First thing, most important, guys, we have mentioned this all week long in my videos. Right now, we really are trying to target those teams that the games are very important for them to get into the playoffs. We want to focus on those teams. We want to try to get some quality, good players out of those teams to make on our lineups. Not saying that we're not focused, that you should not look at any of the games that are not important, because there may be some value plays there. But I'm going to only touch base on the games that I think are meaningful and the games that I believe, in my eyes, in my opinion, are the best games to target going into today. Okay. Right now in the standings, there's a couple of teams that are still battling for positioning. I mean, obviously tonight we have OKC and Miami game is going to be an important game tonight. I don't see this being an important game. Toronto and Detroit. You could probably get some value out of there after you choose your core guys for tonight. So we got OKC, Miami at Miami. Miami's pretty tough. OKC is right now, they're pretty much tied with San Antonio and New Orleans for that 5th, 6th, 7th spot. They're right there battling to see who's going to be positioned where. You also still have Minnesota, only one game back. They are playing tonight as well. And of course, the Denver Nuggets are playing tonight, and they're tied with Minnesota for that 8th spot. So a lot to play for tonight. These teams are going to go battle their butts off tonight. So you definitely got to make sure you stay focused and target these particular games. So OKC, Miami, I'm targeting that game today. I'm not targeting anybody in Chicago, Brooklyn, but there is guys there that you can find value from. So if you were to go with a 4 or 5 solid studs, you should be able to find value in the Chicago, Brooklyn game, as well as in the Toronto, Detroit game, Cleveland, New York as well. Cleveland obviously wants to hold on to that third. Actually, they're in the 4th spot. They're still trying to catch Philadelphia for the 3rd spot, which they lost to them. They lost that position to them a couple games ago. Indianapolis, they're in a good spot. Indy is not playing tonight, but Indy is half game back. No, Indy is actually a whole game and a half back at Cleveland. So I think Indy's going to be right at the 5th spot. It's going to stay right there. Then you got Orlando, Milwaukee at Milwaukee. Milwaukee needs this game, and I know Orlando's just going to go out there and play hard and try to give them a game. I don't see Orlando winning this game. I'll be very, very surprised if Milwaukee lets another one slip through them. And if they do, they deserve to not even go to the postseason. But unfortunately, because there is no other team behind them, they're going to make the postseason more than likely as the 8th seed if they falter here. But this is a game that is good to target just for the Milwaukee players. So you got Middleton there. We don't know what's the deal yet with Giannis. He's a game time decision, as you can see down here below. So something to definitely take a look at, or to keep your notifications on your phones, so you can get the latest updates for Orlando. Then we got Memphis and Minnesota, an important game for Minnesota. The good thing about these teams, they're all at home. Miami's at home. Milwaukee's at home. Minnesota's at home. Okay, the San Antonio game is important to San Antonio. They are at home. Denver, that's a very important game for Denver. This is the game of the night, folks. It's the game that I'm looking most forward to, and it should be the game of the night. So this is going to be very interesting to watch. Denver at home against Portland. That's the game. That's a game that you should target. And then, of course, the New Orleans game against the Clippers in LA is an important game for the Pelicans. Okay, so Those are the games you should target. So here we go again. We got OKC Miami, should target players there. The Orlando Milwaukee game, the Memphis Minnesota game, Sacramento San Antonio, Portland Denver for certain, and New Orleans at the LA Clippers. Okay, so we're gonna go right to the point guards. Let's go through positions. I'm gonna give you the top plays. There's a lot. Listen, most importantly, guys, another thing that's very important. I mentioned this before in my videos. Is a large slate. You got a lot of teams fighting for positioning and for playoff, a lot of playoff implication games here. Focus on building 2 or maybe even 3 core teams. There's enough players here to do that. That is my honest opinion. It's entirely up to you. You can just get a core 5 or 6 players and build a couple players around them and then just mix and match and fill in those voids. But a large slate like this, 9 games, you can definitely make 2 to 3 lineups. I'm going to more than likely have at least 3 different lineups trying to go for this 50K tonight in this GPP. So guys, I highly recommend that's what you do. Okay, it's okay if you have a solid 7 or 8 and you really love those guys. Hey, then you go for it. You make 2 or 3 lineups with those same 7 or 8 and just dump in the 1 or 2 guys that you want to roll with to complete that lineup. That gives you the best chance to probably pull out this GPP. 50K, it's a lot of money, so I know for a fact I'm going to be putting at least 3 solid lineups together. They're going to probably be 3 or 4 guys that are probably similar in every lineup, but the other 4 or 5 are going to be different. And there's more than enough guys here. And not only that, maybe some guys may be highly owned, but I doubt it very much. There will be enough here in player pool wise to be able to get 2 or 3 teams solid for yourselves and give yourself that much more of a chance to probably pull out a GPP like this. All right. So with that being said, let's just move on. Point guard, as of course, I'm going to narrow my pool down. I'm going to share that with you on Fantasy Cruncher here. Right away, I got the point guards. These are all the point guards I'm looking at. The pool was the total of players tonight is 179. I narrowed that down to 76. Obviously, now I'm going to go over a few only. I'm not going to go through all 76 because then the video is going to be very, very long. And of course, I've been trying to shorten them up because I can go forever on this, to be honest with you, because I'm a big fan. But at the same time, I don't want to bore the audience, or I want to just be able to get to the point, give you my best advice, and tell you what are the best possible plays, and then you guys make that decision from there. So again, we know at the top, I'm not going to go through all these guys here. We know Westbrook is definitely in play, guys. I mean, he's one of the best players in the league. There's no doubt that on a normal basis, on a regular basis, he's going to pull out. As you can see, his last 4 games, he's hit value. He's at 58, which is considered a dud. It was his last game, and it was still something. It was still 4 points above value. But look at the 3 before that: 72, 62, and 70. He's playing massive minutes, plenty of usage time. And then look at the shots. So I mean, he's going to get busy. So if you want to play him, you can stick him in there. Yes, definitely. I think there's enough value to have a stud like Westbrook in this game. Now, granted, Miami is very tough. They are very scrappy. A team, especially defensively. As you can see here, they're ranked 5th overall against point guards. So it's not the easiest matchup for Westbrook. But Westbrook is going to do Westbrook. He's going to still take his shots. He's going to still look to dish out the ball, get George involved. So where he may struggle at, he's going to look for the other guys on the team to be able to produce the points. Carmelo had a good game the last game out, I believe. So you'll see Carmelo get some more shots off today as well. They're going to need all 3 studs. All right, that's basically the bottom line. But Westbrook is in play. Damian Lillard is a very nice play today. As much as I like the Denver Nuggets, we know they're 28th overall against the point guard position, so they really, really struggle there. And they also like 20th. I got here they're 20th in fantasy points and 17th in fantasy points per minute. So they are in the bottom tier of the league in defending the point guard position. So this is definitely a great opportunity for Damian Lillard here. Dame had a dud game the last time out, but as you can see, he's getting his regular 32 minutes or better over the last 4 games. He had a 42-minute game here. He put up 72 there. He had a dud game here, just slightly, 39 points, but he had a 50 and a 56. And if I look any further here, he probably, a little bit under par against Denver. The 2 games, the 2 matchups this year, the last one being in January. But this is, again, I like looking back at this, but the more important thing right now, guys, is what is Mr. Lillard doing now? And obviously he's still getting the massive minutes, he's still getting the usage, he's still getting tons of shots. Look at this, 33, 19, 16, 15, 20, 22. Look at the threes, 12, 10, 8, 10. I mean, he is the man on this team. You know, every team has that stud guy that they need to count on to be able to get them through. And on this team, the Trailblazers, is Damian Lillard, and then McCollum will be next. You know, and OKC it will be Mr. Westbrook. So I like Damian Lillard. I think he would definitely be in play for me tonight. I will have him more so than I would choose Westbrook. So that's my opinion. You know, I'm letting you know I'd rather pay for him than to pay almost $3,000 more for Westbrook. Mr. Bledsoe in play as well, playing against the very poor defending Orlando Magic. You know, Orlando is currently 30th overall, but they're also 27th in fantasy points and 26th in the league in fantasy points per minute. They've been holding that position for about a month now. A month. So they are in no position whatsoever here to stop Mr. Bledsoe, and especially if there's no Giannis today. Especially because, you know, Bledsoe is going to get more shots. He's going to have the floor time, as you can see, 31, 35, 37, 41 minutes in his last 4 games. He's had 3, 4, 5 out of his last 6 games. He's hit value. And the last time he played Orlando was back last month. He put up a 47 spot in 31 minutes with 16 shots, 7 shots from 3, hitting about 35-40% of those shots. You know, 20 points. He did a little bit of everything. He just very minimal on the rebounds because he's more of a scorer. He had 8 assists, which is pretty nice to see, and he also had 4 steals in that game and 1 block. So overall, a very nice outing the last time he played Orlando. So yeah, definitely, I'm in favor of Bledsoe. Even more so, I love him more if it's just him and Middleton and there's no Giannis. The only drawback here is that they're playing the Orlando Magic, and this can end up being a blowout, and they're playing at home. So that's the only set. So right now, out of the first 3 that I got here, I would say I'm leaning more towards Mr. Lillard. Okay. Jeff Teague, good spot again, is facing Memphis. Memphis is 14th overall in the league. They're 17th in fantasy points and 23rd respectively in fantasy points per minute. So they're in the bottom tier there. Overall, they're in the middle of the pack in overall defense, which is not too bad. But you know, again, minutes is what we're looking at. 33 and 35. Usage rate is very high. He's getting his shots, 14 and 16 in his last 2 games. He had a 46 spot in the last game against the Lakers, and the last time he faced Memphis, he put up a 41 spot, and that was only just about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, on the 26th. He played 42 minutes. It was an important game then. This is an important game now. So Jeff Teague is definitely in play for me tonight too. He's probably my second favorite play in point guard today. Next is Mr. Jamal Murray. Okay, as we went through already, we went through Westbrook, Lillard, Bledsoe, Teague, Lowry is next on that list. We're not on Lowry today. He may be resting, and even if he's not resting, that means DeRozan is resting. They're not really playing for anything. So I would see, if I were Toronto, I would probably rest both guys. But anyway, we're up to Mr. Jamal Murray. I love Jamal Murray because I like the Denver team. Jamal is facing Portland. They're 19th overall. He's had subpar last 2 games against the Clippers in Minnesota, but the minutes are there, you know. And if he starts hitting his shots, which over here 8 of 10 is pretty darn good. The game before that, a little wall, you know, pretty much 50%. And then he had 12 and 15, 19, 22, 12 and 27. A little surprised. He's definitely a GPP play for certain. He's not he's not as consistent as you want him to be. But when you get massive minutes and you get a lot of shots, of course, like I always say, you'll score a lot more fantasy points. I like Jamal Murray today. I like Teague and Lillard a little bit more. But Jamal Murray is definitely in play, guys. He's definitely somebody you should definitely consider. DeJounte Murray, same situation, playing Sacramento. Sacramento is 18th overall. They are also 23rd and 21 respectively in fantasy points and fantasy points per minute, defending against the point. Mr. Murray is getting sufficient minutes. He had a 37-minute game the game prior to his last game, 29 on his last game. Usage rate was up 24%, pretty much 25.5% here. Didn't get as many shots off in the last game. But he put up 17. He had 4 assists. He had 5 rebounds. He had 2 steals. He did a little bit of everything. At 7,000, you need 35. He put 33. He has put a little over 30. He's pretty much averaging a little bit more than 36, 37 in the last. Well, yeah, I would say about closer to 40 in the last 2 games. I say he's in play, guys. Sacramento. I mean, Sacramento is not, is not a great team. I mean, but they're gonna need Murray. Hopefully that don't. The only thing that'll scare me off of that game is obviously the blowout factor there as well. Sacramento. They're playing at San Antonio. San Antonio, obviously, every one of these teams that are playing, they're trying to get into the playoffs. All of them play very much better at home than they do away. So it's definitely an advantage for Milwaukee today, Minnesota, San Antonio, and Denver. The only one that's really going to have that tough go is going to be New Orleans going into the Clippers, with the Clippers wanting to just, not allow them to go to the playoffs. Next in line here after DeJounte Murray, I see here Goran Dragic. I am not on Dragic. As you see, he is not on my list here. But the next guy I have is Rajon Rondo. Rondo for the Pelicans. The Clippers are 11th overall defending against the point guard position. Let's look a little bit longer here. Mr. Rondo, 31 minutes, 24 minutes, 28 minutes, 33 minutes since last 4 games. He's getting minutes. Usage rate is not as high, but he's getting the assists. 17 assists here, 13. He's had 17 and 13 respectively over the last 3 games. He's only hit value once out of those 3 games, and the last time he played the Clippers, he definitely hit value. Put a 36 spot against them back last month, March the 6th, and that was a shootout game. 121-116. Played 29 minutes. He had 5 of 10 from the floor, 3 of 5 from the arc, and he had 9 assists. Not a big game, but he definitely hit value. He is 65, so you need 34 for him to hit value. And I think that he can do that in this game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised he gets 40 or more here. I mean, he's capable. He's definitely a great GPP play today. I think I may sneak him in there. I'm going to look at it really closely later to see if I can get him in there in a lineup or 2. But he is an important factor because they're playing for positioning here. So Rajon Rondo is definitely in play, guys. It's entirely up to you. Do your research and take a look at him. Trey Burke against the Cavaliers, definitely a good spot for Trey. I mean, he hasn't hit value in the last 3 games, but he's getting the minutes. He's been getting the usage. He's been getting shots, and he's very much a part of this offensive scheme the Knicks got going now with him as their point guard. So, and Cleveland is very, very poor against defending the point. They're 25th overall. They're also 18th in fantasy points and 20th in fantasy points per minute defending against the point. So Trey Burke should have a pretty good game today. I like him here, 6,400. I think he's definitely in play. Jaren Grant going against Brooklyn. He's definitely a good value play here. I mean, he's not that low. He's at 5,700, but he's been getting minutes, 28 and 28 in his last 2 games. He had 24 and 25 prior to that. He's getting shots off. Look at this last couple of games, 10 and 12. All right, 15 and 13 points respectively. He's getting some assists. He had 2 and 8 respectively in the last 2 games. I don't think I'm going to need to look back into Brooklyn when he played Brooklyn, but last time he played Brooklyn was actually a few days back. He put up a 17 spot in 28 minutes. 5,700, I would say, nah, he's in play if you want to spend 5,700, but I think there's a little bit better value out there for 5,700. So, I mean, I had him here originally on this list. I don't think I'll be on him today. Cameron Payne, his counterpart, buddy in the back, against Brooklyn, 23 the last game a couple of days ago, 25 minutes. They're getting enough minutes. They're sharing the minutes, I guess, between these 2 guys. They're both in play because of the fact that Brooklyn is 29th overall against point guards. They're pretty poor there, but I don't know. I'm not on them. I really am not. I really am not on Jerry. I'd rather take Trey Burke and pay $600 more, to be honest with you. Or even $700 more and get Rajon Rondo. I don't think I'm going to be. Let's put it this way. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I am not in favor of any of the low price players that I have here on this list at the bottom. I am very much interested from Trey Burke all the way up through Rondo, Murray, T, Bledsoe, Lillard, and Westbrook. I think those are the top choices for you right there, hands down, guys. All right, let's move on to shooting guard. Shooting guard today, man, the top guys here are all in play. Obviously, Holiday, Middleton, Barton. They show here no, the DeRozan looks like he's good to go to play today. I'm not on DeRozan. I'm not on any of the guys in Toronto today, to be totally honest with you. Again, I'm just going to focus on the teams that really need to get wins today. McCollum is in that spot, you know, as Portland is only a half game, actually a game. Portland is only a game ahead of Utah right now, just one game. So this is an important game for Portland as well, but it's even more important for Denver. So that's why I say it's going to be the game of the night. This should be definitely very interesting. McCollum, definitely in play. D'Angelo Russell in Brooklyn, I'm not in play with. Andrew Wiggins. Now let's go over here to Fantasy Cruncher, and I'll just share with you my guys here. As you can see, there's a bunch here. There's a couple of low value plays down here that I will mention. But Drew definitely in play. I'm not going to go over his numbers. We know he's capable. We know what he's capable of. Middleton, definitely. If there's no Giannis, you definitely should consider Chris Middleton. He didn't have his last game out. He played 36 minutes. His usage rate was pretty darn good. He missed a lot of shots, 8 of 22. If not, he would have crushed his value. He was just undervalued. He was projected 40. He only had 36. But there's 2 games prior to that, 44 and 49 respectively. 25 and 23 in the usage rate, 35, 37 minutes. He's getting the minutes, and as long as Giannis is out, he's going to play up to 40 minutes tonight, especially if Giannis is out, and he's going to take 20, maybe as much as 18 to 22 shots in this game today as well. So he's definitely in play, guys. And I'll say I favor him over Holiday, especially if Giannis is not in the game tonight. So just remember, stay on top of the injury news, and let's find out where Giannis is at. If Giannis is out, I would say you definitely should hit up Chris Middleton, and I will favor him more than Bledsoe between the two. All right. Will Barton definitely in play against Portland. Portland is 13th overall, and against the shooting guard, they're 20th in fantasy points and 12th, which is pretty respectable with fantasy points per minute. So they don't give up a large amount of points on a minute basis against shooting guards. But Will Barton, when he gets hot, he gets going, man. This guy, and he'll take a shot. Last game, 39 fantasy points, 34 and 50 over his last 3 games, all hit value, 31, 40, 36 minutes, and look before that, 39, 40. He's getting the minutes. He's been at 32 minutes plus pretty much over the last 6-7 games. Last game, look at that, 11 of 15 from the floor, 5 of 9 from the arc, 6 of 14, 10 of 18. I mean, taking tons of shots, tons of minutes, and when you do that, that's a deadly weapon, especially that Harris is out. You know, if not, he would have not had this amount of time. But as far as floor time, but because there is no Harris, then obviously Mr. Barton has to take advantage of that. So definitely, Will Barton is in play tonight against the Portland Trailblazers, guys. C.J. McCollum also in play. He hasn't hit value in his last 3 games, but against Denver, he has not hit value there as well. So they have given him a rough time. Let's see where Denver's at. Denver is, again, shooting guards. They're respectable. 17th and 13th overall fantasy points and fantasy points per minute. And as you can see here, they have them as 3rd overall against shooting guards. So they play well there, and that's obviously is going to come down to the fact that you got Devin Harris, who plays a little defense, and you have Mr. Will Barton. That's probably more the reason why Denver's defensive rating is up now. All right, and they're respectable in fantasy points and fantasy points per minute. So not an easy game for McCollum. This is going to be between the 2 guys. If it's going to be McCollum or Lillard, I love Lillard in this game over McCollum. All right. So if you're thinking Portland here in this important game against Denver, I'm in favor of Lillard. Okay, over McCollum. But McCollum is in play. Andrew Wiggins against Memphis. He's had 2 out of his last 3 games has hit value. His minutes are incredibly still up, obviously. He's taking tons of shot, and even though Jimmy Butler's back, he's going to still have to take the shots of it. Jimmy Butler is probably not 100% game condition. So 26 overall Memphis. The last time he played Memphis, he put a 34 spot. He was over. He met value by 4 or 5 fantasy points. He played 43 minutes, and that was just about maybe 2 weeks ago. So not so long ago. Took 17 shots in that game, made 7 of 17. Was a little off on the threes, only 1 of 5. Missed 2 free throws out of 5. He did put up 7. He did get 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. I mean, Andrew Wiggins is in play. 6,800. You know, I mean, you're gonna need close to what, 34? Yeah, you need about 30. Yeah, you're gonna need about 34 from Andrew Wiggins, and he's at, you know, what he's averaging. He's averaging about 33, 34. He's about right. He's about right. He's averaging 20, almost 30 points a game. All right. Move on down here. Lou Will is definitely in play, but that game time decision with the ankle, keep an eye on that. I'm not going to touch on that. Karis LeVert in this, you know, game of Brooklyn in Chicago, definitely a value play there. His price is up, 6,500, because he's been on fire. But he's a game time decision, guys. Yeah, if you're looking to play him, obviously stay on top of the news on that. Tim Hardaway Jr., I'm not on these guys. Gary Harris actually says game time decision here, so you never know. If Gary Harris gets in this game, then that will hurt Will Barton. But we'll see. We the DCC. Then now we have to definitely keep an eye on what's going on here. Right now, I'm just gonna narrow it down. We got point guard. I definitely like just to give you the first two guys here. I mean, I'm definitely going with Lillard. I know he's pricey, 9,700. I think he's gonna get it done. And at shooting guard, I definitely like Mr. Middleton here. All right, so let's go to small forward real quickly. I'm just gonna go low value plays here, guys. I mean, Sean Kilpatrick going against his revenge game against Brooklyn. Kilpatrick is a good play here. He is man, he's been 4 games in a row. He's hit value. He's getting minutes: 22, 25, 28, 23, 26. Look at the points: 20, 24, 21, 14. Look at the shots: 14, 13, 17, 13, 11 over his last 5 games. The guy's been getting busy. They're giving him the ball, and he's getting it done. So I mean, at 5,300, he's in play today. He's definitely in play. 5,300 is not a bad price for Mr. Kilpatrick, and considering that he is getting time on the floor. Dwayne Wade is in play. Obviously, OKC. The only problem with Dwayne is that you don't know how many minutes he's going to play, and if he's going to play for a long time or not. I mean, he only played 19, 20 minutes the last 2 previous games against OKC. Miami needs him. Miami is still, trying to obviously stay in the 6th seed spot right now. They're in the 6th seed, but they are tied record-wise with Milwaukee. So a lot can happen tonight depending on their game and Milwaukee's game. So I think Dwayne is going to need to play. 5,100, I think he's a fair price. So I mean, I would consider him in a couple little lineups here and there. The only thing I'm concerned with that is just I don't know consistent as far as minutes. They haven't been consistency with minutes with him, so that's what the only thing would be a little worried for me. Terrence Ross, I think he played a little bit. No, he's not playing a whole lot of minutes. So Terrence Ross, I know he just came back, so he's definitely out of this list. Rodney Hood is definitely a play for today for sure. Playing against the Knicks, 26th overall against shooting guards, 4,100. What a nice price. The last game he only played 12 minutes, but he had 26 minutes before that, 29, 24, 28, 26. And look at the shots: 6, 12, 9, 11, 12. So he's getting involved with the team right now. I think at 4,100, he's definitely in play today as a value play. Damian Dotson for the Knicks, definitely in play today. Last 2 games, 29 and 35 minutes. They're giving him time. He had a 28% usage rate 2 games ago, and he had a little 12.5, but 29 minutes, took 8 shots, still put up 26 fantasy points in his last game against Milwaukee. If he gets anywhere between 25 to 30, he'll definitely be able to meet that value with no problem. So I think Dotson is definitely a good value play today. Wayne Ellington, same thing, 3,900. Let's take a look at his minutes: 22, 23, 28 over his last 3 games. Yeah, why not? He's definitely in play. He only had a 21 spot, but it was above value the last time he played OKC, and that was just back 2.5 weeks ago. So he may be a nice cheap play here at 3,900. Jamal Crawford, same thing. Manu Ginobili, same thing, 3,900. Okay, 25 points and 25 fantasy points his last game out, which was back on the 7th, 2 days ago. 19 minutes. If you can get 19, 20 minutes and put up 25, I think he's definitely worth the risk. Okay, Kyle Korver playing against the Knickerbockers, hasn't played a whole lot. 19, 20 minutes his last 2 games, so his minutes are a little bit up. Let's see, he got 10 fantasy points. Let's see what he's done against the Knickerbockers. Oof, he's lit up the Knicks. 28 minutes back in November and October. So this is way back, 31 and 21. So we know back then the Knickerbockers weren't able to defend him that well. So you know that he's a three-point specialist. I don't know if he's going to get as much time. So, yeah, but he's definitely in play. 3,800. He's worth the risk. But I think out of the when it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'd rather go with Rodney Hood. You know, who's going to probably get more minutes. Norman Powell. If there is no Kyle Lowry, he may get an uptick in minutes. He played 23 minutes the last game against Orlando just yesterday. He's in a back-to-back. I would think that they'll play him and probably sit Lowry. So I mean, he's someone to consider. You know, as far as getting minutes. You know, if Lowry sits, you know, I can see where Norman Powell and maybe even Van Fleet or possibly even Wright, Dylan Wright, will get definitely more minutes on the floor. Small forward. We got James definitely there in play. Jimmy Butler. We don't know what's up the deal with Giannis, so we have to watch that. Paul George. All these guys are in play. LeBron is probably the best play, even though he's the most priciest at $12,200. He's playing against the Knicks. They are very poor defending against a small forward. As you can see, they're 29th overall. So, you know, definitely he's in play. Jimmy Butler is in play against Memphis, 23rd overall. The only thing is that he just came back from an injury. He did put up a 32 spot 2 days ago, 22 minutes. I mean, that's pretty impressive. 22 minutes and put up 32 fantasy points, 18 total points. Let's see here, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 steals. He was busy with the hands. And look at this, 7 of 10 from the floor, 70%. That's not bad at all. So, I mean, and let's see what he has done previously against Memphis when he was healthy. Back in December, he put almost a 50 spot against them, and he was priced about $200 more then than he is today. So Jimmy Butler is good for 40, 45, easy. You know, I don't see the reason why he would not get that today. So, I mean, as long as he's healthy and he gets, you know, 35, if he was able to go 35 minutes, I could see him crushing value easily. All right, Paul George, definitely in play against Miami. The only thing about Miami and the only thing I'm scared of is Miami is very scrappy, you know, in these positions. That's why they always are ranked pretty well all across the board. You know, his last game, 38, just about value. Previous one was undervalued. He's only hit value 2 out of his last 3 games. And against Miami, he's had a bad 27 spot back just about 2.5 weeks ago in 37 minutes. He shot poorly, though, 3 of 16. That's what Miami can do to you. They defense, they scrap, they double team. You know, they move around a lot. They really work. Eric Spoelstra has done a great job with that team as far as defensively. So, yeah, this is a tough game for OKC. It's a tough game for Paul George. I think the key guy here out of those 3 of the big 3 for OKC is going to be Russell Westbrook. I think Westbrook has the best chance to light it up over Miami than George or even Sneaker. You know, surprisingly, maybe even Carmelo Anthony, but I doubt it because James Johnson is a really tough defender too. You know, Mashawn Brooks definitely in play. He's been, like, you know, playing massive minutes, as you can see, 25, 36, 36. Look at the shots, 14, 20, and 17. I mean, it's just ridiculous. 44, 43, 36 in his last 3 games. Yeah, he's in play. He's definitely in play, and he's 6,500. Michael Beasley, 6,500 as well. We know Beasley, if he gets hot, he could be dangerous. He could light it up. Let's see what he's done. He hasn't played Cleveland this year at all. And let's see what he's done of late. A little up and down, but he did have 3 straight value games. He had a little slight dud against Milwaukee. 23 minutes only in that game. But he had a 28, 34, 34, 31. If he gets 30 to 35 minutes tonight, he definitely can meet that value easily as well. Josh Richardson, same spot. OKC. I'm not on Josh today, but you know, 47 against Atlanta 2 games ago, and against OKC, man, only an 11 spot the last time he played him, and that was just about 2.5 weeks ago. He played 32 minutes, only hit 2 of 10 shots. So I don't know. I'm not on Richardson today, even though OKC definitely is, you know, a team that you can target there at the small forward. I just kind of like, you know, James here, or even possibly Mashawn Brooks or Beasley over Richardson here as far as these top 4 or 5 guys. Next is Mario Hezonja. Hezonja has been, you know, getting his minutes, and he's actually been performing well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Six out of his last like 7, 8, 9 games, he has met value. 28 minutes, 22, 34, 35, 27. Look at the shots: 11, 10, 14, 12, 12. And and he's kind of pretty consistent, as far as getting as many shots off in the allotted minutes that he's gotten on the floor. So let's see how he's done against Milwaukee this year. He had a 15 spot the last game against them back on March 14th. In February, he had a 33 spot, and in January, he had a 24 spot. Obviously, times have changed. His price has changed as well, and the situation has changed. Back then, he probably was coming off the bench. Now he's pretty much been playing regularly due to Fournier and a couple other guys, Simmons injuries. So Mario Hezonja is definitely in play tonight as well. Kyle Anderson is in play. Dylan Brooks, not so much so on Dylan Brooks now. Crab, I'm not too concerned there. Crab definitely is in play. Last 2 games he's met value. Let's see how he's done with Chicago. He's been in the green with Chicago 4 straight times dating back to last season. So yeah, Alan Crab is definitely someone to consider at 5,300. David Nwaba definitely in a good spot too, 5,200 against Brooklyn. He's had 2 dud games in a row, but he did have 2 fantastic games prior to that. Let's see what he's done against Brooklyn. Not too good in 2 games against Brooklyn this year, but he's had the minutes, 30 and 31, and I always like to see minutes, so that's always something to remember. Someone that gets minutes, you have a shot. I'm not targeting too much the Brooklyn, Chicago guys today, but those guys are definitely in play if you guys are looking for someone in that $5,200, $5,300 range. Rudy Gay, definitely an important game for San Antonio. Rudy Gay's in play, and look at Rudy Gay. And I've said this before in prior videos, if he gets more minutes, he could definitely help this team out. Well, maybe Pop is listening to me a little bit. 25 and 26 his last 2 games. That's better than the last previous 5 games before that. And he's getting shots, 15, 10, 10, 13, and he's been pretty respectable as far as being consistent with how much he scores, 16, 14, 13, 21. So like I said, if they play him, they got a shot. So if they can up this to even up to 30 minutes, he can definitely get you, 6, 7x easy. Okay, so I definitely like Rudy Gay here. Joe Harris definitely in a good spot against Chicago. Good value play there, 5,200. And pretty much everybody here is all good for value. Corey Brewer, Justice Winslow, Wilson Chandler is in a big game for Denver. He's definitely in play. Stanley Johnson's always been a little tough with almost everybody. Look at his numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of his last 7 games he's hit value. Against Toronto, he's been dreadful, but you never know. He's definitely a good value play at 5,200. But I think Chandler and even Etuan Moore are better values, and of course Rudy Gay. So those are the guys that I'll be targeting. At power forward, we have Anthony Davis on the top of the food chain, and AD is definitely got to try to go off today. I think this is a big. We all know this is a big game for AD every single game. So let's put it that way. He's got to go off today for New Orleans to keep it going. Him and Drew Holiday got to keep it going. LaMarcus Aldridge has been the MVP for the San Antonio Spurs. He has kept his team afloat all year long without no Kawhi Leonard. He's been a one-man, wrecking machine. And, I mean, this guy's going to be brutally bruised up by the time the season's over. 49, 49, 62, 50. Look at the other stretch here. After a dud here, he had a 43 just missed value there. But look at all these value games. I mean, that's 10 out of like maybe 11 out of the last 12 games. Look at the points. Look at the shots. I mean, he's definitely in play. He is definitely. I had him the other day, and he did what he had to do. Today, I like him again. You just got to go to him. You just got to keep feeding him the ball. And he has a high ceiling. I mean, possibly 70 points, fantasy points. So Aldridge is definitely in play. Anthony Davis, both of these two guys, favorite plays here in the power forward. You can definitely look at Kevin Love against New York. He's been 3 out of 4. He's been at least at value. And his last game out against the Knicks was not that good, 23 minutes. Back in November, though, that was 14. So that I can't even look back at that. Anytime I see anything more than a month or 2 back previous with the opponent that they're facing, I will just go with what's going on now. So he's getting minutes. 32, 30, 29, 36 over his last 4 games, 17, 16, 18, 13. He's getting sufficient shots. I would like to see a little bit more shots for 32, 30 minutes. So we'll see what happens. But LeBron has been an animal. So, I mean, if you're going to go with any Cavalier, obviously you should go with LeBron. Paul Millsap, tough matchup here. Portland is definitely pretty decent against power forwards. You know, let's see here. Power forwards, Denver, yeah, you know, Portland, yeah, 17 and 20th overall in fantasy points and fantasy points per minute. So they are a little bit below the middle of the league. Let's see how he's done against Portland. Right, you know, at 27, so he was just undervalued by 3 his last time out. But that was back in November. So different situation. Paul Millsap had those injuries. He was out for a while. He's back. So what you do is you look at what he's done now. As of late, 29, 33, 32, 39, 39, 30 minutes. I mean, he's playing 30 minutes or better for the last 6 or 7 games. And he's hit value in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of those 7 games. You know, he's doing a little bit. He's getting enough shots. 20, 18, 15, 12, 13. We'd like to see a better percentage rate on his threes. He is rebounding a little bit, and he's actually still passing the ball. And you know he's capable of blocking shots, as you can see, 1, 4, 1, 1. You know, he's a scrappy player, man. Paul Millsap, 7,500. He's definitely in play. You need about 35 from him. I think he could definitely do that. Hollis Jefferson against Chicago. He's definitely in play, 7,500. I'm not going to touch on him. Tavares Harris is in play. Not one of my favorite plays today against New Orleans. You know, you got to deal with Anthony Davis there as well. Marichek, man, he has been on fire. And there was a point there where we were like, where the hell's this guy been? And all of a sudden, look at this, 50, 55, 35. He has stepped it up for playoff positioning with him and Davis and Drew getting busy right now. New Orleans should not lose to the Clippers tonight. They should not. If this guy keeps shooting the ball well, especially from 3-point range, 6 of 11, 5 of 11 in his last 2 games respectively. From the floor, 10 of 18, 11 of 25. Look at the usage, 31, 22% here. But minutes, 40, 35 in the last 2 games. Because they had no choice, he had to step it up. And as long as he was shooting the ball well enough, they left him on the floor. Look at this. 6 rebounds the last game. Prior to that, 16. 11 of them defensively. He had 4 and 2 assists respectively. 3 steals here. The key for him is not to get into foul trouble. A little bit of problems here in these 2 games. As long as he stays away from that, and he can hit that 3 and hit consistently from the floor, he's going to be on the floor for massive minutes, and they're going to need him. He is definitely in play for me today. He is one of my favorite plays here other than Ulrich. Okay, I like Davis, Ulrich, and Marichek here in this power forward position, guys. Bobby Portis, Jabari Parker, James Johnson. Defensively, James Johnson is nice because of his defense. He definitely puts up points as well, so he's not a bad play either here as well. He has not hit value in his last 2 games, but against OKC, pretty respectable, 27, 26, 29 over his last 3 contests against them. Taj Gibson, he's a good defender. Look at that, 38, 36 his last 2 games. Look at the minutes, 33, 36, 34, 31, 30, 43. I mean, massive minutes. You get minutes, you can get points, you're going to get fantasy points. Taj Gibson, for that price of 5,900, you only need to get like 29. Yeah, I mean, like 29. I mean, he's good. He's good to go. I like Gibson here in this matchup. And pretty much that's it. I'm not on Anthony, even though you never know what can happen there. Good value plays here. Tolliver, Green, and Rab. Rab, 5,300. Last 4 games. Look at this. Net value 3 out of his last 4 games. Okay. He has not faced Minnesota, which is no problem. But he has been playing lately very well. So he's definitely in play for 5,300. For even a better price is Tolliver and Green. Anthony Tolliver. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of his last 10 games. At 8 out of his last 10 games has met value, and he was just slightly undervalued here. Minutes, 29, 34, 36, 32, 31, 31. He has been an integral part of this offense for the last 6 or 7 games. Alright? So Tolliver is in play, guys. He is a great value play. He is probably the best value play here with those numbers right now than anybody else for 4,500. So if you're looking for a value play at power forward when you're making your lineups, definitely consider Anthony Tolliver. The other guy that will be a good value play will be Jeff Green. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of his last 6 has met value. Look at the minutes. 41 and 31 in the last 2 games. Look at the shots. 12, 10, 10. Okay, 33, 21, and 12. All right. I don't need to go back to see how he did against the Knicks. This does not matter. The game was back in November and October, excuse me. So it's all what matters right now. What has he done in the last 5, 6, 7 games? Well, he's getting time, he's getting usage, he's getting shots, and he's scoring points. If he's doing that, then he's a good value play, especially at 4,500. That's a bargain. He should meet value with no problem. So there goes your value play. Jeff Green and Tolliver are the best value plays of the day. Okay, at power forward. And then my favorite here are Davis, Aldridge, Meritic, okay, and Taj Gibson. There you go. I narrowed it down right there for you in front, right in front of you. Those are the 4 or 5 I'm looking at, and my 2 value plays are Tolliver and Green. From there, I'll build something up with my power forward position. Center, the list is a little smaller, and it's going to be even smaller than that. Obviously, you know I am always in favor of Mr. Jokic. I love him. You know, the guy is fantastic. He should definitely do his business today. I think he's going to do well. Portland definitely defends fairly well. Nurkic is not that bad of a player. You know, the only problem here is that one of these guys may get in foul trouble because they are very physical. They both are very competitive. So I don't know. I'm just hoping that it's not going to be Jokic. It's going to be Nurkic. So that's what's going to come down to. Let's see how he's done against Denver. Okay, he had a 40 spot in his last game against Denver. 47 spot back in January. Okay, so I'm not going to concern myself with that game in January. We know that Denver is not the best defending center, and defending the center spot, even though they have a Jokic. Denver is 23rd in fantasy points and 24th in fantasy points per minute. And as you can see, even though here it says that they're 8th overall, they do suffer in giving points up pretty quickly against centers. Maybe early on in the game, I don't really know, but Jokic and Nurkic are definitely 2 guys in play battling each other today. Drummond is definitely in the best situation, dealing with the 24th ranked Toronto Raptors. He had a 42 spot in his last game and 52. He did have 2 duds in between. His 41, 42 minutes respectively in his last 2 games. Usage rate is pretty low. It's not as high. And he doesn't really need to. I mean, when I only see rebounds, as you can see here, because a lot of these rebounds, you see offensively, you see 2 and 5 and 8. Some of these are putbacks. So he puts up back a lot of, and he needs 50, 53, 54 there. I mean, actually, he needs 54 there to meet value. It's pretty steep, but he can get there. They do have him projected for 48, which would be undervalued. So I'm not on Drummond today, but he's definitely in play, guys. Karl Anthony Towns definitely in play against Memphis. I don't know how many minutes Gasol's going to play. We can take a look at him, but I don't think he's going to play a lot of minutes. This is definitely a good spot for Karl Anthony Towns. 33, 37, 36 minutes in his last 3 games. Usage rate is pretty good here. He's getting his shots, and he's getting rebounds, and he's scoring points. So as long as he gets the minutes and he gets shots off, he should be okay. So I definitely like Towns there. He's definitely in play. Vucevic is in play as well. Against Milwaukee, we know Milwaukee. We always pick on Milwaukee because they definitely struggle big time at the center position. Let's see how he's done against 54 his last game out last month on March 14th. 33 minutes on the floor. Usage rate was 26%. He shot 14 shots, hit 8 of 14, 1 of 2 from 3, hit all 5 of his foul shots, had 9 rebounds and 9 assists, and he also had 4 steals. And as long as he keeps that, he's a decent defender, Vucevic, and kept up. He didn't get into foul trouble. He's in play against Milwaukee because Milwaukee's going to battle. If Orlando wants to keep this game close, they're going to need Vucevic to play well. So he's definitely in play. At 8,500, a little steep. You need 42. You need about 40. You need about 43 from him. He's capable of doing it. I'm just not on him today, but I think he is definitely in play for anybody who wants to. I don't think he's one that you should ignore. Definitely someone to definitely look at. Nurkic, as I mentioned already, is in play as well as Jokic. Kyle O'Quinn has been on fire. He's playing Cleveland, which is really poor against the centers as well. 4 straight games at value. Look at those numbers as they slowly keep coming up. 31, then he put 40, then he put 44, then he put 52. You know, and man, you know, Cleveland. I mean, I don't know. You know, they're projecting to put up 42. I think he's going to get there. He played 21 minutes here, and he got 44, 29 and 32. Look at the usage rate. And then he's getting enough shots, and he's being effective with his shots. Over 50%. 50% here, over 50 here. Pretty much close to 50 here. And this one here, over 50% as well. 15, 14, and 13. Look at the rebounds. 16, 14, and 12. And 15 over his last 4 games. He's been on fire, and then, you know, he's getting the job done, and he's loving this. And like I said, I think in the previous video, the Knicks are going to be okay with Kyle O'Quinn if they can keep him, and Enes Kanter. You know, I mean, I think they got a nice little duel there, dynamic duel in the center spot between those two guys. You know, so Kyle O'Quinn definitely in play. 75. His price has gone up, obviously, but I think he'll be able to still meet value on that 7,500 for you guys today if you want to pay Kyle O'Quinn. DeAndre Jordan is in play, of course. Steven Adams as well. I think out of the ones down here, maybe Paul Gasol and Stein. They're playing against each other. 43 and 38 respectively for Mr. Cauley Stein in his last 2 games. 32, 37 minutes. They're upping his minutes because they just want to finish the season off well. Not only that, you know, they were playing 2 weak teams there. This is a team that they're going to play now today that is battling for a playoff spot. I don't know if they're going to have him out there for 32 to 35 minutes or 37 minutes, but if they do, he has a good chance to meet value with no problem. They project him to have 28, you know, and he's valued at 68. I think he can get there. It's just a matter of, are they going to keep him on the floor long enough, or if this game is going to stay competitive enough for him to be on the floor. Paul Gasol definitely is going to play today. I know he played a couple of days ago. You know, he rested yesterday. He's going to come back again today. They didn't need him to put 25 to 29 minutes again. They're 25 and 31 respectively in his last 2 games, and 30. He put a 30 spot right on the nose the last time he played against Sacramento. So those are the guys there. Going back, those are the plays I'm looking at, guys. So going back to small forward, out of the guys here, this is a really tough one. You know, if I want to go value here or not. I kind of like Rudy Gay again, so I'm going to go Rudy Gay there. And I power forward. I like Aldridge and I like Marichek. I'm just, you know, I'm a little torn, but I'm going to go with Marichek. And then at center, I would go with Jokic, but he's going to leave us with very little money. I think I'm leaning towards more Karl Anthony Towns or Kyle O'Quinn for value. Let's see how it looks with Mr. Okay, we have 5,000. I think there's sufficient value to find a couple of plays there. As I share with you, Mr. Tolliver, Mr. Green at power forward. There's a couple value plays. Let's just look through them like I did yesterday. Lower half here, yeah, 5,000. You see, you got a guy like Crab at 5,300. You got Nwaba at 5,200. You got Harris at 5,200. Stanley Johnson. You got Wilson Chandler at 5,100. You know, Etwan Moore 4,400. And I would think that's the lowest I would go, you know, out of this group here. At power forward, I mentioned to you before some of the value plays. Okay, you got Rab here, 5,300. Ibaka at 5,400 is not a bad spot. Anthony Tolliver, my favorite plays are Tolliver and Green. There you got 2 right there, guys. All right, a shooting guard. If this is you wanted to play this lineup here. And then I will throw in there shooting guard at that range. You're looking at Dwayne Wade, okay, and I would definitely consider Mr. Dotson here in the mid game, as long as he get those minutes. And maybe just maybe, you know, Devin Harris has been getting minutes. Let's take a look at him real quick before I wrap this up. 23, 20, and 20. Yeah, he's pretty much getting almost a point a minute. You know, he may be a good play. 3,800. Devin Harris is someone to consider. Ginobili is someone to consider as well. He had a day off. 19 minutes, excuse me, the last game. And look at that, almost a point a minute, 17. Put a 25 fantasy points. Not bad for Ginobili, 25. But in the previous time, he did play 25 minutes and pretty much didn't do anything. So, yeah, it's tough to call. I will not go with Ginobili here. I would consider Ellington, Dotson, Oh, now game time decision, Rodney Hood, terrible. If his Achilles is banged up, then that ends that. So I will probably go with Dotson for sure here, or Wade in that shooting guard spot. And then at point guard, and then you could go a little lower in value, and you can just go up in value at point guard, because point guard, obviously, a lot of the players get more touches. So that's something to consider here. 5,000, let's look in that range. Got Patty Mills. I love Patty Mills here at 5,000. Down here, Dylan Wright, especially if there's no Lowry. So you got to look at that. Right now, Kyle Lowry is not, there's no indication that he's going to get a break, that he's going to be off today. But, like I said, lower tier here. If you're going to think of anybody, you got Dinwiddie, you got Mills. I'm in favor of any of those two guys. DJ Augustin, someone you could look at because he gets minutes. Dylan Wright. And I think that is it. Jared Jack is in play here, definitely. He played quite a few minutes the last game for the Knickerbockers. Yeah, 25 minutes. He put up 18, 5, and 7, 33 fantasy points, and he played 12 minutes before that. So he may get a little run here because it's the ending of the season. So, yeah, you got a couple of value plays, but like I said, you could go up in value here and shoot for, I would say, man, you could even go as high as one of the Bull players in Jaren Grant, 5,700, or Payne, or even Shelvin Mack. All right. Or you can go even higher to like De'Aaron Fox for certain, and then go cheaper at shooting guard, or go cheaper more. My strategy would be go cheap on small forward and power forward, where there's a little bit of value with guys who can rebound and block shots, and then try to utilize a little bit more of the value in price, the uptake in price in point guard and shooting guard. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys, man. I mean, I'm sorry I dragged the video out to 56 minutes so far. But that's pretty much it, man. These are the stud 5 for today. Lillard, Middleton, Gay, Marichek, and Mr. Karl Anthony Towns. I think those are my favorite plays there. But like I said before, a 9-game slate, you can make 2 or 3 lineups. I'm going to have another lineup other than this, but right now I'm looking at it to the way I shared with you right now through my player pool that I build at Fantasy Cruncher. That these are the 5 that I like at the moment. So I'm confident enough in these 5 to share those 5 with you guys. But remember, don't take this with, don't seal this up and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go with what Manny said at DFS Zone and just going to play those 5. And but you could play these 5, and like again, this is only my opinion. You could take 2 or 3 of them and utilize 2 or 3 of them and build your lineup with the other ones. But with a 9-game slate, you have sufficient players here, guys, to make 2 or 3 lineups. And my recommendation is that you do that. You do just that, okay? Because that's exactly what I'm going to do, because I'm definitely trying to shoot for the 50K. All right, and I want you guys to do the same, And if you do it and you actually use some of the players that I have recommended and advised, then great. So again, guys, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Anything you want to comment down below, you want to talk to me about anything, I am more than happy to discuss anything with anybody. You can hit me up on Manny at DFS _ zone on Twitter, which I don't really have a large following there, but hopefully with time. My IG account at DFS Zone, and if you want to see, I did have a great day yesterday in MLB, which I forgot to share with you guys. I did cash out, finishing 3rd in the 3 o'clock MLB tournament, and cashed out $400. I also had 2 other lineups. Another one came in the under the top 100, and the other one in the 500 range. And I don't know. I won about $438 or something combined. But that I always share those winnings, no matter how big or small, on my IG account. So you can go there to my Instagram account and you'll be able to see that. You can see the proof of that. But basically that's it, man. And remember, we have 3 days. We have 2 days left, tomorrow and Wednesday with NBA, and then Thursday full steam ahead. MLB videos every single day. Is going to be truly exciting. Like I said, probably by the weekend I will have like a player pool cheat sheet available for those who are interested. I want to start it off because it's the first time I'm doing this, to share with those who are interested in Major League Baseball. Willing to share that with you guys. It's going to probably be about $3, I guess, per day, and I prefer you use anybody who's interested to do the daily thing, and then maybe with time we can do a weekly membership fee for the same advice, or even monthly. But right now, at the present time, I think I'm going to do just daily, and then give everybody a chance to at least get a feel for it, see if they like the information I'm sharing with them, and they play some of the players and see if they, if they have success and win money. Chances are they'll come back and they'll want to. But again, I'm here to just try to help those who are not able to do the things I'm able to do, and that's basically do all the research. MLB is very consuming. You have to look at a number of different factors to come to decisions and narrow down players to about 18 or 20 or 25 from a player pool that you're going to use for that given day slate. Plus, I also will be willing to advise anybody on any particular slate, because baseball does have 2 or 3 different multiple different slates a day, just like similar to the NBA, like with the Express or the afternoon or the late night or the main. So but all the information I'm going to share with you guys is going to be strictly on the main slate. And like I said, man, I want to not do a stud 5. I want to try to focus on doing instead of a stud 5. I wanted to be able to share with you guys maybe my top 18-20 plays among all the positions for that particular day's main slate in the MLB, and then you guys are able to just break it down and at least get an idea of how I want to build teams. I think that would be cool. It's something different. A lot of other people are not doing stuff like that. So but that's why I asked you guys about a week ago if you would comment down below and let me know if that's something you would like, or you prefer just me to give you the top 5 plays, and I can do that as well, just like I did with NBA. But I would like to try that. I'll probably try that for the first couple of days, and hopefully I get some good response, maybe some comments from people saying they like it that way, and maybe that's a new way for me to bring that kind of material out to you guys and hopefully help you guys have a little more success. But anyway, good luck tonight with the NBA. Good luck for those who are playing MLB. I'm right now going to get out of here right now, and I'm going to work on my MLB lineups for today. I'm looking forward to that because I'm really crushing MLB right now, and so I just want to get to that. But a lot of success tonight. Enjoy the games. There's going to be some great games. Watch that Portland-Denver game if you guys get a chance to, and let's make some money, all of us. And with that being said, your boy Manny is out for today. God bless.